All right, guys, looks like we are streaming. Hello, everyone. Let me know if you are here live. All right, yes, we are good. All right, welcome in. It looks like we're good. Okay, fantastic. All right, welcome back, everyone. It's our Lunch and Learns. Welcome back. It is always exciting to have you guys. If you are here live, in the comments. Otherwise, if you're catching this on the replay, let me know. Happy Tuesday in February. So what we're going to be doing, like always, is I'm going to be sharing my screen. You know what would be pretty cool? If I could like share just half Zoom and half of my face. I wonder if you guys, I could do it with Be Live. Well, we'll see. We'll have to see how we make that happen. I will have some updates for y'all, and to do so, let me go ahead and share this with you. Okay, welcome to our Lunch and Learn. It is February the 18th, and this is where you come to ask questions about going online, branding your business, getting more sales. And this is an awesome resource, especially for those of you that have the online course. So what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be answering, this is what we do every Tuesday. I will be answering your questions, and it is best if you show up live, because then your questions get priority over everybody else. I have a long list of questions from when you guys joined the group, and those are the questions that we cover in our Lunch and Learns. Okay, so my name is Luz Gonzalez, and I am the founder and CEO of SalesBrand. SalesBrand is it's more than just a company. It's a movement where what we do is we build brands that sell. So what is a brand? And often, part of the reason initially I didn't want to talk about branding is people don't actually know what branding means and what it actually means in terms of you making some money. Can we like get an amen? We want to make some money. So what it means in terms of actually making money, your branding is super critical. Branding is everywhere. Branding is the colors, the fonts, and all of these things. It's the messaging, it's the graphics, it's your entire presence online. And if you're a business, you have to be online. And so what we do every Tuesday is we come on here and we talk about and discuss your sales branding questions. So you guys are all sales branders, and I am the sales brander in chief, and I'm super excited to be here. So let's dive in, shall we? If you are here live, hashtag live in the comments so I can see you. And if you have questions that you want me to discuss for your business, this is an incredible opportunity. So if we were doing a one-on-one consult, that would be $500 an hour. So you guys get this. You guys get to ask me questions. You guys ask questions when you join the group. And we will be answering your questions if you are here live. So I have your list of questions, and we're going to be going through those. And then if you have questions, make sure to post them in the comments. And again, especially if you're taking the online course, Passion to Profit Blueprint, you definitely want to be showing up to these live, because I will answer your questions, and know that you also have the accelerator and the inner circle. The inner circle only has 7 spots open generally, like overall. And many of those spots are taken. So if that's interesting to you, if you want to, take your level of support to the next level, just let me know. I would love to welcome you on in. Okay, so today, what are we covering today? Today we have, so this is going to be the structure. So we're adding more and more structure, which is really exciting because I love structure. So we have our updates and our news and story time. So I'm going to be doing a story every single time that we come on here, and then I want to hear your celebrations, and then we'll go into Q&A, which is going to be answering the questions that you guys have about your business, sales, branding, creating brands, and doing the marketing that's going to get your ideal customers into your world, and then increase the amount of sales that you're having and convert the people that you do have to people that want to buy for life. How does that sound? Okay. So, hey, Neil, how's it going? Good to see you here. So upcoming things that should be on your calendar. We have a new show. My friend Matt and I are going to be doing a show starting today. So something that you guys are going to learn about how we do things here in sales branding and just branding and business, creating a business overall. It's an iterative process. An iterative process means that you're going to do it like trial and error a whole lot. And what you're trying to do is you fail forward. You fail onto like Rachel Hollis, Tony Robbins, Brandon Burchard, Russell Brunson, you name it. Like they got to where they are because they kept working at it. They kept showing up and they kept trying things. So, this is going to, hey Ori, how's it going? So what we're going to be doing with How to Suck at Coaching is this is our first episode. My friend Matt and I have a similar sense of humor. And so we have this funny show that we're going to be doing. The first episode is going to be today in this group. The second episode is going to be determined, the date. It's going to be in his group. And then what we're going to be doing is we're going to be creating an entire. So you guys let us know, like, do you guys like the title, How to Suck at Coaching? Do you guys want something different? And that is just going to be pure entertainment. It's going to be no more than 30 minutes. It's going to be pretty short. So pretty short. And it's just going to be like all the things you should not be doing. And we're going to be bringing on anti-experts. So suppose you're an expert in the fitness space, we would bring you on to talk about, the taco diet and why it's the hottest thing. So something like totally ridiculous. And the point is humor and entertainment and to make you guys laugh, because we know that it is, it can be quite a journey to become an entrepreneur, and we want to lighten things up. And one of my themes, let me know in the comments what your themes are for this year. So my two themes for the year are abundance and fun. And so for me, when I thought about this, I was like, how can I add more fun into my work, into my life? And it is one of my values, one of my top values. And this just seemed in alignment, and there was so much interest, and we're going to be bringing on experts, and it's going to be so much fun. So that's coming your way. And then we do have, mastering sales closing. So if you've ever been on a sales call, or you're like, oh, I don't even know how to do sales calls, we're going to be doing a lot more sales training, and that's going to be coming your way. Like you guys have known and seen, I was in Guatemala. I've been sort of all over the place, but now I'm finally landing here. And so I'm going to be bringing a lot more people to interview. And I'm really looking forward to interviewing Dawn, who's going to be talking about how can you close more sales? How should you think about closing? And how can you feel more confident in having those sales conversations and then getting the right people to a place where they say like a hell yes, and they're super excited in terms of the thing that you're selling. So that's going to be happening the 19th at 3 p.m. Pacific, 5 p.m. Central, 6 p.m. Eastern. So that's coming your way. And just a reminder that everything that we do is based off of the Passion to Profit blueprint. So it's part of the sales branding system, sales branding, as we talked about during our last session. This pillar number 3 is sales branding. But to make sure that you're building the right business, you have to make sure that you follow the Passion to Profit blueprint, including pillar 1, pillar 2, and pillar 3. And so everything that we discuss is within the prism and the understanding of the 3 pillars. So if you have not done the free course, that's 3 days that lets you know how to think about and understand each of the 3 pillars, you got to take that one. So let me know in the comments if you need me to send you that course. It's free. It's a value of $297 that you get for free, because I want you guys to understand how to think about your business and growing your business. Hey Core, good to see you here. Okay, so let's go ahead and dive in. Story time. So today's story is it's not a light story. It's so my sister, her best friend, my whole family lives in California, and my sister, something I really appreciate about her is she is, how everybody has a gift. Everyone has something that they're really, really good at. My sister has a gift, and she's just extraordinary when it comes to creating community. She has, and I, like I was born in Mexico. We moved here when I was 9. So I've just been moving around kind of my whole life, but they grew up here. So my sister was like 2 and my little brother was just like months old when we moved to Gilroy, California, garlic capital of the world. And so she grew up with this very tight-knit group of friends. And I'm like, okay, we're not going to choke up. And if I do, that's okay. So one of her friends, not so long ago, was told that he had cancer. that he had a very aggressive kind of cancer. And just about a week ago, he was told that he only had a few days, 2 weeks to live. And so he passed away yesterday, like this, at night. And so my sister shared those news. And when these things happen, and one of my other clients, he also reached out and had said, that, we had our one-on-one and he was late, that he never does that. And so I figured something must have happened, and someone that's very close to him had lost somebody. And so this just has me thinking, right? And as we go into, hola mama, as we go into the new year, we're in the new year, it's past mid of, February. It's going pretty quickly, right? As we think about the next 10 years of our life, we're in a new decade, right? Like, how are you living it to the fullest? How are you actually showing up? How are you making your life mean something? And I'm really, really excited in the coming weeks. And then I think in the coming 3-4 weeks, I am going to be sharing with you a collaboration that I'm doing with somebody who's very, very special. So when we think about what we're doing on this planet Earth, right? Like, you all have gifts, and you're all in this group because you have a gift, you have a calling, you have a passion, right? Passion to profit. You have a passion that can make the world better. And I only work with people who are impact entrepreneurs, hashtag impact entrepreneurs, people who actually want to make the world a better place. And so that's why you're all here. And yes, you're doing it. What we do is we take the vehicle of business and we convert this vehicle of business to a vehicle of impact. And so something many of you have heard my story. So growing up, when I was 9 years old, we moved to the United States to there were not a lot of financial means, and it was, hard times. And for Christmas, we were the family that lined up outside of Salvation Army. And, that's what I remember for Christmas. And I remember for Thanksgiving, we were the family that received those food baskets. And so for me, my lessons that I learned as a little girl was strangers care. Strangers care, and they don't even have to know who you are. People give because humans are kind and good. And it was a very powerful, it created me. It absolutely shaped who I am. And so at all points when I went to college, I worked really, really hard, right? Like, I'm a really hard worker, and I worked really hard, got really good grades, and I received a full ride scholarship to UC Berkeley. Go Bears. Hey, Kaylin, good to see you here. I got a full ride scholarship to UC Berkeley, and the people that had created the scholarship, I then found out later that they were actually these billionaires. And so the lesson that I got from being a billionaire is that if you're a billionaire, you make the world a better place, right? And so all these lessons from when I was a little girl and growing up, and these perspectives that totally shaped how I saw the world. And so I just had this desire and this almost like a need inside of me to pay it forward, because just my whole life, there were strangers and things. And yeah, you work hard. The thing is, you show up for life and life shows up for you, right? And so I just had learned all of these lessons. And so as soon as I had an opportunity to start my business, and I really want to encourage you guys to do something along the lines, and you will have an opportunity to do so, and you could start doing that today. So as soon as I built my business, I said, I don't want to wait until I make it, right? I am so committed to paying it forward. This is the reason that I'm starting a business, because I believe that business is the number one vehicle and instrument to actually making the world a better place. I used to be a lawyer. I used to be in nonprofits and government. And I just believe in you. I believe in you, like the entrepreneurs. You guys are going to change the world. And so if I get to help you make more money, make more sales, so you can make more impact in this world, then I am doing exactly what I was put on this earth to do. And so I just, have had this need and desire to pay it forward. And so as soon as I started my business, I was like, I don't care how little I contribute. I want to be part of paying it forward. And let me know in the comments, how are you paying it forward? What are you doing currently to make the world a better place as you see it? And so I looked for the right organization for months, and I asked around, and I asked on LinkedIn, I asked everywhere, and I was just wanting to find the right organization. And I was just spent so much time And then I found an organization where, again, for me, my whole life changed because of education. Why do you guys think I'm a trainer? Why do you guys think I focus so much on training you guys? I'm coming on every single week when each of my hours is, at least $500 an hour for us to work together one-on-one. So I'm dedicating an hour a week to just do this for free because I know that somebody did that for me, right? And so this is your opportunity to come on here and ask questions. I get it. A lot of you have 9-to-5 jobs. So if you can't make it during this time, send me your questions. We have that form and I will answer your questions, right? So paying it forward is something that's really, really important to me. So when I started my business, I found this organization. It's called Develop Africa. And when I was looking through their website, you had the opportunity, and you still have the opportunity to sponsor an actual child, right? And so back when I used to be in the world of like international law, I had been a court moderator. Charles Taylor case. He's a really, really bad guy, really bad, like really bad. And it was like terrible civil war and like terrible things that were done. And so I saw this little girl from Sierra Leone, and it just connected me back to when I was like 19 or whenever I was doing this work. And so she lives in Sierra Leone, and she, her dad, he left. And I'm also like, okay, keep it together, Luz. The dad left, and so it's the mom and the kids, and so the mom is working really hard. And sometimes with the sponsorship, it actually means that these kids get to eat, right? And so when you think of how abundant we are here, and so I had this opportunity to sponsor one child, and my goal this year is to do a whole lot more. And I plan on all of us doing a lot more together in this community. I'll be sharing some news about that in coming weeks. And so I spoke to the founder of this organization, and we're going to be coming on together, and I'm going to be bringing him here. But as I thought of, my sister's best friend passing last night, and the thing, like, are you living your best life, right? Are you stepping up to the plate? Are you reaching your potential? Are you standing for what you say is important to you? Or do you only pay lip service to these things? As I started asking these questions, it just, it's been hard. And I want to hear your journey, right? I want to connect with all of you guys. It's been a hard journey, but when you think of like really standing for what you believed in, no matter what, it feels good. And so as Miguel has passed, I would ask you guys to send a prayer or whatever your form of providing a blessing would be. Let's all send him. This is something that I learned from 2 communities that I'm part of, so we're going to start incorporating it here. It's called a whoosh. And so a whoosh is a sending of an intention, sending of an energy to a person or to a cause or to something. And so let's all send Miguel, who is now up in heaven, up, in love as part of Source. Let's send him some love, a little whoosh of light and healing and peace. And he is now resting in peace. And so he hadn't even turned 30, right? And so as you think of, what am I doing with my life? How am I living my life? What kind of decisions am I making? Am I living courageously? And I get this opportunity today. I get this opportunity every single moment that I have my breath to treasure this gift. I just want to ask you, how are you living? How do you feel about the decisions that you've been making? And how can you really, really live this next decade in alignment with your highest self, in alignment with that person who you say you want to become, and take courageous action, even as your knees are shaking, right? Like, take action and do something, even when it feels hard. So that's a little bit of story time. It's, it's a sad story. And, and it's interesting. Like, I don't know that death necessarily has to be sad when it comes to, and this is not a channel for spirituality, but, for me, building a business is a very spiritual endeavor. And so there are different cultures around the world that have different views about what death means. For me, life is like school. Life is like a university, and you are here to learn and develop. And develop emotionally, physically, develop on all the levels that we get to develop as human beings and spiritually. And so for me personally, I don't think that death is the end. So I don't find death to be so scary. And it's sad. It's sad when someone passes away. And so I just, I ask that we all send again Miguel some wishes. I know that he is in a good place. He was in a lot of pain. And, I just want you to ask some questions about your life and how you're living it and how you like and how you feel about the answers that you're getting about your life. Okay. So that is a little bit of story time. So we'll always start with some story time. Hey, Jennifer. Hey, Gracie. Hey, Kaylin. Sometimes my mom will be here. Hey, Mom. Neil, Ori, Core. Good to see you guys all here. Okay. So let's move on to celebrations from story time. Celebrations. So we're going to do this every single week when we come on for our lunch and learns on Tuesdays. I want to hear from you. What are you celebrating in your business and in your life? Hey, Jacqueline. So I want to hear your celebrations, guys. This is your chance. So again, I just can't help it. So I'm not going to help it. I will bring spirituality into business because for me, they're the same. They're connected. Your energy force, your source is connected to who you're being in the world. And oftentimes as entrepreneurs, who we are being is our business, and our business is an amplification of our being. And so, hi. So what I want you to do when we come on every single Tuesday is I want you to celebrate out loud, because when the things that we focus on grow. And so I want you to focus on all of the things that went right in your business. So what was that for you? Yes, loving that. So I want you to post in the comments, what are you celebrating today? And let's any self-limiting beliefs. That's the other thing. I'm going to take a note here. We're going to add our guidelines, community guidelines. So there are 4 community guidelines that we follow in the SalesBrand community. One is we are here to play big, and we do not go small in SalesBrand land. So you are here to be the biggest, badassiest force of good and light and impact and profit in the world. That's number 1. 2, no judgment zone. You are here and you will not be judged for the bigness or how small as you might consider your actions may be. So as we celebrate, I want you to be like, I did 2 calls or 1 call, or I reached out to 5 people, or I started on the first draft of my website, or I opened up Canva. I want you to focus on the things that you're celebrating in your life and in your business. And this is your chance to claim it and your chance to say, universe, bring me more goodness. So I want to see you guys telling me in the comments, what is going right in your business? What action did you take? And I want to encourage all of you guys to write this down, imperfect, courageous action all day, every day. This is going to be our hashtag imperfect, courageous action. I don't want you to take perfect action. You will be stuck in fear for the rest of your life if you're waiting to feel good enough, if you're waiting for it to be perfect. I mean, case showed, right? Today, we are going to be doing a new show. Matt and I are going to be doing a new show, and I'm nervous. I'm like, I don't know how this is going to go. What if I'm not super funny? All of these questions that we have that we're in our head, we need to crush those. You want to give that person a name. So, she's complaining, negative Nancy, right? Negative Nancy, you got to move, get out the way. Get out the way, Nancy, get out the way, right? And you have to have a name. We talked about your power name. So what's the power name of the most badass version of you? So she's the one that says, yes, you can, Luz. Yes, you're funny. I think you're funny. So that's all that matters. So I want you to take action no matter what. So I want you to tell me in the comments, what is going right in your life and in your business? Okay. So as those come in, and this is your chance to claim it. This is your chance to take up space in the universe. So please take advantage of it. Even if you are feeling fear, even if you're feeling well, it's not good enough, I want you to crush that negative Nancy, or that negative, negative Nancy, go away. And you get to claim your power. So you get to write in those comments, what is going right in your life? What is going right in your business right now? So let's move on to questions, but I want to see those celebrations coming in, and I'm gonna love on you as those celebrations come in, and I'm gonna, amplify your celebrations. Neil says, I sketched out outlines and started writing the scripts for my 3rd, 4th, and 5th YouTube videos. Woo! Yeah, Neil. Neil is in the house. Neil is in the house. Neil is taking action. Woo, baby. Woo, baby. All right, Jacqueline, talking about spiritual. I'm setting intentions and asking for signs and seeing them. Woo! So as you guys are going to see, this is a high energy space. So let's send Neil a whoosh, whoosh, and let's send Jacqueline a whoosh, whoosh, not Jacqueline, for setting intentions and asking for signs and seeing them. And Neil, I want to encourage everyone who watches this on the replay or catching this live, take up space, baby. You were put on this planet because you belong here. Stop dimming your light. Stop feeling that you're not good enough. This is your time to take up space. This is a safe space that I've created for all of you total badasses. This is your time. Like, get in the comment box, replay or live. I want you to tell me what you're celebrating. Okay, so as you joined this group, you asked some questions, right? I asked you some questions, and I've been creating a document where I will be answering your questions. Hey, Kane, how's it going? All right, so what to know about the rules so I answer questions. Priority goes to people who are live. So if you are here live, let me know what your questions are, and you guys get to be at, the front of the row. Otherwise, we have lots of questions. I have an entire document of questions that you all submitted. This question is by Joyce. How to know what people need and how you can serve them. And I will jump to Joyce unless if we have a question here in the audience. Who in the audience asked a question? And I also invite you again. We do have a funny show in which I will practice my funniness, and who knows, it could be terrible, guys. I'm nervous, but that's the thing. Even as you're feeling nerves, you've got to show up. Patrick Robbie is getting a new freaking computer. Burr, burr, burr. I feel like we need some sound effects. Like in my mind, I hear those sound effects like siren noise. So Patrick Robbie's getting a new computer. Absolutely amazing. Okay, so questions. I know this show is a little bit ridiculous, but you know what? This is why we're here. And I was put on this earth to be a big old light of just like fire and energy, and just like to send you guys that love and energy and light so you can explode your businesses into the stratosphere. Stratosphere, is that where we're going? Of profit and impact. The more I show up, I feel okay, I'll be waiting for the second part. But post your questions in the comments and I will make sure to answer them. So for now, I'm going to be jumping into the questions that I have on this list. And as I see your questions, so Neil, Kane, Robbie, Jacqueline, if you guys have questions, put them in the comments, and you guys will get to be at the front of the line since you're here live. Those are the benefits, and make sure to invite all of your friends and buddies into our weekly show. So the more I show up, I feel, yes, I feel my anxiety and my fears less. That's the thing. So your brain, we're going to do a little brain science. Are we okay with brain science? Okay, I have to do this because I'm super nerd, so I'll be right back. Are you guys ready for this? Okay, so we're talking science. Hello, I am Professor Luz. Let's talk about the brain, shall we? The brain is composed of 3 parts. The main part of the brain, keep the hearts coming. I feel the love. Send the love. I feel it. Okay. The brain is composed of 3 parts. The main part is your reptilian brain. The next layer of our brain is going to be your lymph. No, that's the wrong system. It is, oh gosh, what is the second one? This is where your emotions, I'm forgetting the name. And then the last part is your neocortex. So your we think that we operate from the neocortex. I'm conducting a presentation skills training tomorrow. Whoop, whoop. It's getting better and better. Whoop, whoop. Patrick says, how to deal with a prospect that wants to see how they can come after you in legal means. This was asked randomly, by the way. So these are going to be questions about your business, how they can come after you in legal means. I'll see if I can address that, Robbie, but Patrick, but we will, that's more of like a legal thing that even though I used to be a lawyer, that's not something we're going to be looking at. Okay, so brain. So the reptilian part of your brain, then you have the limbic system, that's what it is, and then your neocortex. So when we think about like, oh, but I'm feeling these fears, that's just natural, because guess what? Your reptilian brain, there's a little piece in your reptilian brain that's called the amygdala. The amygdala is a center, it's like literally as far back as we can, find all of the different levels of, evolution of humans. The amygdala was really, really important because the amygdala helped you to like know if there was danger. And back then, danger meant like a lion was coming after you. And so now our brains in 2020 America and 2020 wherever in the in the world you are, because we are international here. If you are from somewhere else in the world, I want to know. I know we have some Guatemalans and Mexicans in the house, but I want to know where in the world you are, and let's keep growing our international community. So as we do anything in our life, this reptilian part of our brain, it's looking out for danger, right? And it's gonna find something. And so that's why I really recommend you guys should not be watching TV, definitely the news, because guess what? Like you feel more anxiety. Anyway, so the more that you practice stepping outside of your comfort zone, a few things are going to happen. You're going to see where your growth edge is. So we're going to get to that question. So I'm going to jump here, like how to manage fear, right? Because this is something that everyone experiences. So your growth edge, what is your growth edge? And let's also talk about your gremlins. Your growth edge and your gremlins only appear when you step outside of your comfort zone, right? So if you are inside of your comfort zone, you're just gonna be like, woo, I am so comfy. This is great. I am bored. I'm not growing. I'm not making more money, but it sure is comfy in here. That's not where you're going to grow. That's not where you're going to make more money. That's not where you're going to serve more people. That's not how your business is going to do better. So you have to, Jacqueline talked about a vision. I want you guys all to have a vision. Okay, I'm no longer in professor mode. So I want you guys to all have a vision of where you're going. And I want it to be super, super clear. I want you to have a vision for 10 years, 5 years, 3 years, 1 year. And if you're part of the accelerator or if you're part of one-on-one coaching, I do this with you, especially the one-on-one coaching, I do this with you. The accelerator, you have the assignment. But anyway, so this is what you would be doing, 10-year vision, 5, 3, 1. And I want you to have very, very specific goals, right? For your 1 year. I don't know if you guys saw my video this morning in this group, where I was like, this is where I meditate. This is what I do. I pump myself up. And not only do I pump myself up, but I think of where am I going? So once you know where you're going, then you know what action you need to take, right? So this is going to be sort of silly, but stay with me. Do you guys know what this is? These are supplements. This is I found it on Amazon. And I was the problem that I was having is I wasn't taking supplements. I just wasn't taking my vitamin D and my garlic pill and my whatever vitamins I need to take and my oils, because they're in the little in the containers, and it just was too much work every single day to go through all the containers. So what I did, do you want to hack your brain, right? So the thing that we are doing in sales branding is we're looking at the science. We're looking at the science behind human behavior. And we are studying, that's a terrible, terrible, terrible attempt at a British accent. But what we're trying to do is we are trying, no, I'm just going to stop. Okay, we are trying to hack your brain. So even as you're feeling fear, you will still take the action that you need to take, right? And it's not just by ignoring the fear, it's by creating systems. So what did I do here is I made it so easy for me to take my supplements that literally I just have to sit there one day every like 14 days and just put the supplements, you know, and like spread them out depending on like, do I want some like something that's a detox, and do I like, what do I want each day? And then all I have to do is like, boop, oh, look at that. Look at that. I have my supplements ready for the day, and I will do it just because it's easy. Guess what? You have to do that for your business. You have to do that for anything that you want to do more of, especially your sales. You got to do that for your sales. You got to hack your sales system, and you have to hack your fear. Did you guys know you can hack your fear? And this is why I talked about your vision. This is why I talked about the 5-year, the 3-year, the 1-year. Because once you get crystal clear as to what your 1-year vision is, all then you do is you just walk backwards. And then you're like, well, I know I got to do this. I know I have to do that YouTube video. Neil is thinking like, I got to do that YouTube video. And I'm feeling afraid. And who cares? Negative Nate, you can go to sleep because powerful Neil is here. And I know that I committed to myself in the future, you know, like my present me was setting my future me up for success through systems. And so what you do is you know where you're going, you have your vision, and then you just do it, even though you're feeling scared. And when you're feeling scared, but you're following your system, that present you thought about future you, you're like, okay, future me, what do I need to do to succeed? And present you went, well, hey, future you actually have to do these things. And you're like, okay, great idea. Let's write those things down. And now you're just acting on that plan. Your gremlins are going to come up and your growth edge is going to come up. So when you're in that space and you start feeling uncomfortable and you're like, oh, I don't know. Like, I don't know how I feel about this. That's when you tell negative Nancy to go to sleep. That's when you tell negative Nate to go home, and you have to have your power name, right? Like, so for me, for the longest time, it's been, what is it? Firestorm. I'm changing it. So like, I still haven't found the new one. So Firestorm, she is just like, let's go, right? She is super there. Maybe it's gonna be like light magnate or mogul, something along, like billionaire. I definitely want to become a billionaire. So we'll figure it out. Anyway, so as you're feeling fear, your growth edge will appear. And guess what? It's so exciting. Jacqueline and I were talking about this because the only way, literally the only way that you find your growth edge, that's literally the point where you're no longer growing. And you just wouldn't even see this space. You can't see the edge. It's like, if you look ahead of you, there are going to be these lessons that you have to go through in life. We were talking about how life, like how I think about life sort of like a school, and you have these lessons that you have to learn. Well, the only way to learn that next lesson, you can't see them. You can only notice it when you look back and you're like, that was a lesson, but you can feel them. And you feel them when you're feeling discomfort and fear. And you're like, oh, shoot, this is a growth edge. And you're like, gremlins, you're coming up. You're telling me all the reasons why I can't and why I shouldn't and why I should like, who do you think you are? You guys can share some of the gremlins that you thought about, like, who do you think you are? Oh, you're too big for your bridges, or like, you are a bad person, or whatever that might be, right? So then you're like, wow. And now you have a meta perspective of saying, none of this is real. All of these are things that were with me when I was a little boy or little girl back, when your subconscious was being programmed, and you can realize that none of these stories are true. And then you can ask yourself, is this serving me? Is this not serving me? Like, I see the growth edge and I know I'm on the right path. The thing is, you got to be on the right path. Too many people are just going through the motions. You're just waking up and you're like, all right, well, here we go. But you're not working towards a future. You're just going through the motions. That's why you have to work on that vision. You have to know where you're going. So when you feel the gremlins, when you feel your growth edge, you're like, I'm on the right track, baby. I know exactly what I need to do. So This was a lesson brought to you by fear, and how fear is there to show you your growth edges. Your gremlins are teaching you the things that you need to deconstruct within your subconscious into a version of you that is the version of you that you see in your future. And that's how you create an incredible life and business. Ladies and gentlemen, a huge goal of mine for years was that a huge fear of mine, huge one of mine for years, was that I was a bad person, which is nuts. That is nuts. That's crazy, right? And like, we all have this. The thing is, Tony Robbins talks about the mind and the heart. So if you guys will notice something, not right there, and this is a little heart. I'm gonna be this is a good one, guys. This episode is good. So what this is going to go into the podcast. So if you guys want to listen to it again while you're running, while you're doing chores, while you are on the treadmill, while you're running treadmill, same thing. You're driving, you will be have the ability to listen to this on the podcast. So the people on the podcast that can't see this, there's a little heart that I have on my wrist. That's a tattoo of a heart. And that reminds me to stay out of my head and in my heart. Because if you're in your head, you're dead. And these fears that we all have, they lie in the head, right? So when you're in your head and you're like, oh, but I'm not good enough, and this is like, but I'm gonna, mess up, like the very real fears that I was and have continued to entertain to some extent in terms of like this silly shows, like, oh, but I'm not funny enough, or like, what if I get awkward, or what if like nobody shows up, or what if like whatever it is, like. This is about having fun, right? This is about growing your business. This is about getting to your growth edge. This is about becoming the version of you that you said you wanted to become. And so these thoughts are not true. And there's different levels. There's a level of you don't even know it's happening. Then you have a level of awareness, and then you have the ability to reshape them, right? And the only way that we can get there is by getting to those growth edges. And so it is really important to know where we're going, because only by crafting an incredible, exciting, challenging version of ourselves that we're developing into with incredible health and happiness and wealth and impact and all of these things, can you, when these fears come up and those gremlins that tell you you're a bad person, you're like, what? Where did that come from? And then what you can say to your gremlins, what's happening is your gremlins aren't evil. Your gremlins are actually, and I need to rewatch the movie, but I think if we go back to the original where gremlins came from, once the gremlins are exposed to the light, once the gremlins are exposed to, like reality, the truth, they die, right? That's how your gremlins in your brain work as well. So as soon as you catch it and you're like, well, that's bullshit, right? I feel like I need like sound effects, like beep. When you're like, that's BS, where did that come from? And then you can say to your gremlins, because your gremlins aren't bad. Your gremlins, they were what you learned that you somehow were protecting yourself through this fear. And so you get to analyze, what am I protecting myself from? What is this fear trying to, like, maybe it was trying to protect you in the past that like you weren't going to have enough, and sometimes what we do is we bring these fears and these gremlins, they're generational gremlins, right? So some of the fears of your parents, of your grandparents. Did you guys ever hear that one story of the Thanksgiving ham, where the family is, it's all together, and then they're preparing the ham, and then the wife of this couple, the wife chops off a big old piece of the ham and like tosses it or something, and then the guy goes, "Why'd you do that? That's perfectly good ham." And she goes, "Well, that's just how you do it." And then the guy goes, "Well, but why?" And then that was the first time she had asked that question. But why? Why have I thought this? Why have I believed this? And then she goes, "Well, that's how my mom did it." So then they went to the mom, like, "Mom, why do we do that?" And she goes, "Well, that's just the way it's always been done." And then, she goes like, "My mom used to do that." So then they go to the grandma and they ask her, "Why do we cut off this perfectly good part of the ham?" She goes, "Well, it was back, during the Great Depression,
and it wouldn't fit in the pan. And so we would chop it off so it would fit in there. And I don't know what they did with the rest of it, but like that's just why we've done things. And so sometimes, I don't know for you guys, but my mom was born like quite literally middle of nowhere, Mexico, like middle of nowhere. They back then, my grandpa had to actually pave the streets. Like it was so remote. Like my mom during the summers, they would go up to the like high Sierras of Mexico, and they were just like sowing the fields, right? So what it's been really interesting since I've been doing this work now for almost a decade, right? Like the work of doing yourself and growing a business is one of those things that just has you face your growth edges. I notice these fears that are remnants of someone who lived in the Sierras. And, you know, my mom was one of 14 kids, guys. She was number 13. And so sometimes my mom, all she had to eat was literally, and this always makes me tear up. So I'm going to take a breath. Okay. Sometimes, okay. Sometimes all she had to eat was just a tortilla with like salsa. That's it. It's fine. I'm a crier. It's okay. I'm an ENFJ. And so, you know, when I think of that, like some of the things that my mom does are based on, thank you guys for the love. Sometimes the things that my mom does are based off of like this hard life that she lived. And then I have to catch myself and be like, wait, that's no longer protecting anyone. Thank you, Jacqueline. That's no longer protecting, like, it's no longer protecting her, and it like definitely does not serve me. So what I want to ask you is, where do your gremlins come from, right? And do they serve you? And sometimes your gremlins could serve you. So your gremlin, like, it's not necessarily your gremlin, but like sometimes your amygdala is going to say, hey, dummy, don't jump off that bridge. You're going to die, right? And that's true. But sometimes, hey, Michelle, sometimes your gremlins are going to say something like, you're a bad person. You won't be loved. You can't be yourself. You can't be the biggest version of yourself. You can't make that much money. Making money is bad. Like, your gremlins will say these things which do not serve you and which are not the truth. They are not the truth. And so you have to decide for yourself, who am I and who do I want to be and how do I want to live my life? And that is why it is so critical for you to set a vision for yourself. It is said that people who do not set a vision, what happens to them? You guys know how this goes. What will happen to people who do not set a vision? What happens to them? Tell me in the comments. And you guys can do that. I want you to engage as ferociously, even if you're watching this on the replay. They perish. A people without a vision perish. So don't be one of these people, right? And so we're bringing it back to basically the beginning story of Miguel and him, you know, passing away and asking you guys these big questions of, why are you doing what you're doing? What's your vision? Where are you going? And so like one of my visions has always been, you know, to pay it forward. And I think this June, I will have the opportunity, it looks like, to go to Sierra Leone and visit some of the schools there. If you guys want to go, does anyone here want to go to June with me? Go to Sierra Leone in June with me and visit some schools in Sierra Leone and see how we can take SalesBrand and empower these kids to bring them more school supplies, to empower more kids to be able to go to school, to have more computers. If anyone is interested in this community and coming to Sierra Leone with me and standing for something bigger than yourself, let me know. I'm putting together a group that wants to go to Sierra Leone. I'm for sure going. I've been wanting to do this kind of work my whole life, and just know that it sounds so amazing. I know, I'm super excited. And know that going forward, I mean, this already happens, but it's going to be a lot more focused and a lot more systematic. Any purchase that is done within SalesBrand, whether you purchase the accelerator, the course, you know, the inner circle, any classes, literally anything, a certain percentage of that will be going to these causes, probably specifically Develop Africa. I'm going to be chatting with them more. But I love the way that they empower kids, and especially girls, right? Some girls, you know, internationally, like they never even get to think about going to school. And so we can do something about it, guys. And that is why we come here as sales branders, as impact entrepreneurs who stand for more than just profit. But heck yeah, how do we have that sort of impact in the world? You got to make profit, you got to make money. So let's go back to your questions. Okay. So Robbie, Patrick, your question about the coming after you in illegal means, I'm not gonna address that here because that it is outside of the scope of the sorts of things that I don't know what like your specific situation. It sounds like you should talk to a lawyer. So that's not something that I can help you with. But if you guys have other questions, let me know in the comments and I will answer your questions. Okay, so we have a question here by Joyce. Joyce asks, how do you know what people need and how you can serve them? So some of your questions are a little bit broad, which is totally fine because then I just give you a broad answer. And some of your questions are more specific and that's totally cool as well, right? So if you guys do have more questions that you want me to answer, put them here and I will bump them to the front of the line either for today or for next week's Lunch and Learn. And also remember to invite all of your friends into this amazing community. Okay, so how do you know what people need and how you can serve them? What I'm going to do, guys, is I'm going to take this question because this has everything to do with the Passion to Profit blueprint and the pillars, right? So everything that we do is explained. We can't see you. Okay. Everything that we do is explained through the blueprint. Okay, let's do what, like an 18? Ooh, that's really small, 33. Okay. So this is a pillar 2 question. This is a pillar 2 question, and this is a great question, Joyce, because this will determine whether you do or do not end up making money. Can we get an amen if you would like to make some money or make more money? Amen. Hallelujah. Preach it, girl. Yes, let's go. The more you interact, the more you bring me the energy, the more you get energy in your life, the more pumped up you are about your business. So bring the energy, bring the hearts, bring all the things you want to bring into our comment section, bring them, and I will gladly receive them, and they will be expanded and reflected back to you. Okay, so how do we know what people need and how you can serve them? That is a question that relates to pillar number 2. Do you guys remember how last week we also, a huge piece of it was about pillar 2? Pillar 2, as I have conversations with you guys again and again, it is like too many people. So let's review again, okay? Pillar number 3 is this is actual sales branding. Sales branding happens in pillar 3. Pillar 1 is, am I building the right business? Some of you guys are at the stage of, I don't even know what business I should be in, Luz. So I think about it this way. So let's find a forest and map. Okay. This is, I think I've told you guys this person. This one. Yes, this is the one. Okay. So we're going to add it to our little presentation here. Let me take this one, duplicate slide, and we're just going to, okay. So to answer the question, I want you to think about, we have multiple forests. Each forest is the industry that you could be in, right? So you don't just have one industry you could be in. You could be in real estate. You could be in, like, tell me some industries that you guys are in. So you could be in real estate. You could be a lawyer. You could be a doctor, you know, like there's like a gazillion things that you could do. Now, to know what people need and how you can serve them, you have to first, in terms of number 1, make sure that you're going to find a forest that you're going to go into that you can be excited, that allows you to create the sort of life that you're super excited about, that you can commit to and stick behind literally for as long, you know, like at least 3 to 10 years. What is something that you can really commit to? You're like, okay, lifestyle. So say for me, I want to have my own personal chef, my own personal like I want to have a sauna, I want to have like all of these things, right? And so I wanted to have them sooner rather than later. My timeline for that is not like, I would not be okay if that came in 10 years from now. I was like, no, 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 I need that yesterday. And so I chose a forest. I chose a specific industry that I was going to be going into with a specific roadmap, a blueprint. So the blueprint, it adjusts based on who you are and what you want to do. So initially, you have to figure out, what do you want from your life? What's your vision from your life, right? What is exciting to you? And then the money-making question happens in pillar number 2. Pillar number 2 determines whether you make money or you don't make money. So in pillar number 2, in all of the pillars, you have 5 elements that you're working with, right? So pillar number 1 is LMIS. If you don't know what LMIS is, make sure to do the free class, the master course. That's 3 classes. The first class is all about LMIS, and I walk you through the LMIS elements. Let me know in the comments if you are here live. It's a little mini quiz. Quiz time! Quiz time. What does LMIS stand for? The person who gets this right will get, what will you get? I'll find something cool and fun that like the winner of someone who remembers what LMIS stands for gets. We'll make it something fun. Okay, so let me know in the comments. And this only counts for you if you are here live, because otherwise you could go back and do research and homework. I guess you could do that now. But LMIS, tell me what LMIS stands for in the comments. So you want to make sure that you have an LMIS business that's built up, and that you have an LMIS alignment, and you're like good to go. Pillar number 2 is how you make sure that you make money. So now you have a vision for your life, right? Just like Jacqueline, I encourage all of you guys to go do your homework, baby. Go do your homework in terms of your vision. I have my vision boards up on my wall, reminding me of what my vision is all the time. I always have my, I have to print them. I need to go pick up my printers. But like my calendars, literally everything is reminding me of where I'm going. And I go through my vision every single day. So know what your vision is. Now, you got to make some money, right? You've got to make money. You're a sales brand. How do you create a business that actually brings in a lot of money so you can have a lot of impact? Well, we have those 5 elements as well. You have to go into the right hot market. You have to find the right market segment for you. You're going to have to find your niche. Where is there a product? Where is there a problem that has an urgent and specific need? Then you're going to be doing not just like a niche product or service, but you're going to be, and you always start with the service. And then you productize. We talk about this at great length inside the full course, which you should totally sign up for. If you haven't signed up for the full online course, the Passion to Profit SalesBrand online course, what are you doing? It is super, super awesome. And so then you don't do a niche products or service per se, but you do niche marketing, and then you find where your people congregate, right? So only then do you actually start doing the building piece. So this question, Joyce, how to know what people need and how you can serve them, is a fantastic question, and is a question that speaks to what, and I really invite you guys to listen to last week. Last week was really good. What I'm going to start doing, guys, is I'm going to take all of these lunch and learns, and I'm just going to add them to the podcast, because you know what? As I'm sitting here, I'm like, these are good, Luz. Like, this is good advice. I would listen to this if I was sitting in my car driving from one place to another. This is good advice just to remember it. And you're kind of entertaining, if I say so myself. Okay. So how do you know what people need and how you can serve them? You study the market, right? So you figure out which of the 4 main hot markets. The 4 main hot markets are going to be, tell me in the comments. This is quiz number 2. For those of you in the SalesBrand Passion to Profit online course, it's an opportunity for you to test your knowledge of the content of said course. What, we question, are the 4 hot markets? Tell me in the comments, what are the 4 hot markets? I know that Jacqueline knows this. The 4 hot markets are health, money, relationships, and beauty and entertainment. Those are trillion-dollar markets. And so you go, if you want to make money, right? Like, if you don't want to make money, this is probably not the right group for you. You should go somewhere else. But I'm just going to assume you want to make money. You want to make a lot of money. and you want to do well and then do well by the world. So I want you guys to become millionaires so you can go out there and make the world a better place for everybody. So you're going to find one of those 4 main markets that you're going to go into. And then you're going to find the market segment that really excites you. So at this point in your ELMIS analysis, you figured out the industry that you're most likely going to be within. So ELMIS, the E in ELMIS stands for your expertise, your industry, your passion, right? And so as you think of the forest that you're going to be in, I then want you to start figuring out what is a problem in one of these 4 main markets that you want to solve. That is an urgent and specific problem. So that's where you figure out what people need. So you have to figure out what kinds of people do I want to fall in love with? Who can I commit to? Because like too many people do this in the wrong sequence. They're like, I have an idea. Or like, I was having a conversation with someone like, I haven't found the idea. And it's like, the idea, like the piano of purpose, the piano of ideas, the right idea isn't just going to fall on you as you're like walking down the street. No, you got to iterate. You got to research the market. You have to like be smart and strategic. So you have to study the 4 main markets. Once you study the 4 main markets, study what are people saying that they need and want that is within your E from ELMIS, your expertise area that you can actually provide a solution for. And heck, if you can't provide the solution yourself, can you help somebody sell, that thing for them? And can you be an affiliate, right? Can you make some money from that? So, but we're taking affiliate out of the question. How do you know what they need? Well, you can find find the group who, the better question to ask, guys, is who can you commit to? Who do you fall in love with? Who can you commit 3 to 10 years of your life to serving the hell out of that has the ability and the willingness to pay you, right? This is from last week's Lunch and Learn. So I will be adding that into the podcast. I'm just going to add it to the podcast. If you guys want me to add it to YouTube, let me know. I'll add it to YouTube, but it'll be here and it'll be on the podcast because I think that's a good delivery for it. Okay, so the question, Joyce, isn't necessarily like, how do I know what people need and how I can serve them? It's who would you be super excited to serve, Joyce? And is this a big enough group of people that you're super excited to serve, that you could commit to, like you're okay with marrying them, you commit to them for the next 3 to 10 years of your life. And then what you do, you just do pillar 2 research, right? Into pillar number 2, you're going to find, okay, well, what market? So lifestyle, impact, money, S, strengths, and we're missing one, strengths, and the E stands for expertise. Woohoo! Jacqueline is the winner of the Do You Remember What ELMIS Stands For challenge. Okay, so again, the question we need to be answering is, what is the you do have a great question. Is how can I serve them? That is the money-making question, is who do I want to fall in love with? Who am I super excited to serve for a really long time, 3 to 10 years? And what is a really big, urgent, and specific problem that they have right now that is so pressing and so top of mind to them, that if you offer them a solution, a way to make that pain go away or make it better, that they would be like, here's my credit card. Like, we need to fix this right here, right now, right? And how can you serve them? What you're going to do is you're going to talk to them. You're just going to ask them. And in today's world, because of the technology that we have access to, you can ask them in Facebook groups. You can see what questions they're asking and what answers people are giving, right? So you can see what people, and you can also see in the market, what are people already buying and what's really working in terms of solving that pain point for that specific group of people, for you to know what, and this just goes to answering the question, well, what is my niche going to be, Luz? Well, that's how you're going to find your niche for a group of people that you can commit to and be really excited about, right? Because we want to work with people that we absolutely love. I think I was telling you guys in some video somewhere, there's so many videos, so much content coming at you. It's super exciting, right? So one of the many videos, I was talking about how, when I think of you guys, when I think of sales branders, I can commit to you. I have committed to you. I am, whether you know it or not, we are in a long-term relationship, baby. We're an item. We're in this. I am in this for the long term with you, right? And when I think of a future with you, it sounds mighty exciting. And I can keep recommitting to you again and again. Do you guys like my love declaration? No, but it's true. Like, I want you guys to find a group of people that you're like, excited and willing to play in the market, right? So business owners, you're trying to improve your business, as much as you can. And so a lot of you in here are already part of the online course. Some of you are like, Luz, the online course is great, but you know what? I am so ready for the accelerator. And some of you are like, the accelerator is great, but I need more support. I want to have more support from you directly. And then you might want to join the inner circle, right? So you are a group of people that I can commit to for the rest of my life. I want to keep finding different ways to serve you. And so I want you guys to find who is your sales brand community. Who are your people that you're super excited to serve? Then you start having, conversations with them, asking them, and then you fulfill not a vitamin pain point, but like an urgent and specific pain point that they have right now that you can serve. And that is how you know what people need and how you can serve them. So guys, that is it for today. I will catch you again next week in our weekly edition of Lunch and Learn with the one and only Luz Gonzalez. So I will see you next week. I love you guys so much. You are my love. We are in a long-term relationship, baby, and I am so excited to be on this path with you. I'll catch you guys next week, and sending you so much love. Okay, bye all.